Hey y'all, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing a little candle work here and I thought I'd answer a few questions that have been popping up lately. And just, if you have any questions yourself while I'm going through this or afterwards, jot them down, write them in the comments, or DM me if it's very personal. Let's just go with the first question, which is, what is candle magic and how does it work? Well, candle magic or candle work, you can call it many different things. What it is mostly about enhancing your focus. Enhancing your focus on what kind of intentions you're trying to set. The candles are being used as a tool with the fire and the smoke and everything else. It's to focus and direct your energy towards something that you're working on. That's pretty much a really generalized statement of what it is. See, and how does it work? Well, it works mainly with aligning your desires with a stronger intention. That's pretty much, I know that's very, very general, but that's pretty much what candle work is about. All right, question number 2. How do I choose the right candle for my intention? The right candle. Candle selection is crucial. It's also not always crucial. And what I mean by that is it all depends, again, back to intention. I have a feeling I'm going to be saying that a lot. But different colors, different shapes have different associations with certain energies. Yeah? You know how different colors affect you. So different colors in your candle selection could be a factor. It doesn't have to be, though. Let's see, what else? Before you do research on candle colors and what colors mean, take the different candles and see what they feel like to you. That's the first order of business. You could be very surprised to find that some of the feelings that you naturally already feel with certain colors, some of those things already align with the general idea of what these colors represent in different candles. For example, red is often associated with fire, power, strength, good luck, love, things like that. Green, even in countries that don't have green money, green and prosperity, because if you think about it in a nature kind of way, green is about growth, it's about expanding, it's about being prolific. There's all kinds of different reasons and feelings behind the different colors. So in terms of selecting your own color, I would highly recommend that you just kind of play around with them. And the kind of candle, what the candle is made of, doesn't always make a difference. However, the more intention or the more energy you put into your candles, the stronger your connection with that focus is going to be. So you can make your own candles pretty much out of anything you like. If you feel closer to the idea of natural candles, then definitely go for a natural substance for your candle wax. But ultimately speaking, it doesn't matter that much unless it matters to you. Let's see. Can anyone practice candle magic, or is it limited to certain beliefs? Candle magic can be used by anybody. You don't have to believe in anything. And at the same time, when you're setting an intention, any kind of intention, it's a valuable practice. It doesn't matter what you believe in, but if you're setting intention, let's say something simple like your intention is today is going to be a good day. Somewhere inside of you is believing that there is a possibility that today can be a good day. In actuality, when you're setting an intention of today will be a good day, you are really a little bit deeper than that. You're really believing that today is going to be a good day. That's part of the working. So, do you have to believe in it? No, you don't have to believe in anything. However, there is a level of belief in you and in the work. Let me know in the comments if that just made any sense. Okay, let's see the next one. How do I prepare myself and my space for a candle magic ritual. The first thing is you want to cleanse your space. You want to clean and cleanse your space to the best of your ability. Clean and cleanse your space, which, as a matter of fact, is what I'm doing now. This is a space clearing ritual that I'm doing. I've shared it before, and I will more than likely share it again because people got some really amazing results from it, and I'm happy to pass it along. But that's one of the first things you want to do, preparing yourself. It's good to literally take a bath or a shower. So do that, physical clean as well as symbolic clean. Clear your space out to the best of your ability. Your intention, I highly recommend that you write down your intention. That's one good way to prepare. Write it down. You might know, very generally speaking, even if you know very specifically, it's still good to write it down. Write down the intention. As a matter of fact, that is what's going on here with these pieces of paper. Each one of these candles has a specific role to play in this particular working. So I'm writing down everything for each one of the candles. And also, before you light anything, you want to really sit with your intentions, sit with what you've set in motion, and before you light it, just have a moment to ground yourself. Even if the whole working is really, really an exciting thing and an exciting time with an exciting energy, in the midst of all that excitement, bring it down. Don't bring down the excitement, bring down the cray that's around it, even if it's all good. Just bring it down a moment, ground yourself out. Ground yourself out, and then light your candles. So that would be a recommendation. I'll concentrate here so I don't cut myself. Right. Let's see. What role does intention play in candle magic? How do I set up a powerful intention? I think that words come up a lot. How do you do it, though? Well, I just mentioned, really define the goal. Really clarify the goal. Sit with it. Visualize it. Meditate with it. You can really enhance it by speaking it out loud. Like once you write down exactly what this thing is about, what this candle is about, what it represents for you, speak it out loud. Talk about it. Get it out there. This will actually help you intensify your candle work by really focusing on your intention, whatever that intention is. Sit with it, meditate with it, really take your time to think of all kinds of different aspects of it. And in that way, you can really intensify your work. Also, just sitting with your candle and meditating with it, infusing it with that energy and the intention, whether you're working with one candle or several candles, it's the time you take and the focus you put on your intentions. That's how you set a strong intention. How long should I let the candle burn? And what should I do afterward? The candle burning, or the duration of how long you let the candle burn, that all depends on you. That all depends on what you feel is necessary. Like for instance, if you set an intention on that candle that it is you're just going to sit with it and sit with your routine or with your ritual or with your spell work or whatever you want to call it. If you are visualizing that this is the type of thing that needs to be done in one sitting, whether that sitting is with a birthday candle or with a huge, I thought I had one handy, anyway, or a huge candle, that's really up to you. You can set it to where, you can set your intention to where you watch the whole candle go, or even if you don't watch it, you let it go all the way down without putting it out. Or you can set the intention that this is a candle or this is a candle working where you can turn it on and turn it off. Some people care about this, some people don't. Just in my experience, it's a better energy not to blow it out. I can go deeper into that at some other time, but right now that's just something that I wouldn't worry about it. But generally speaking, I don't blow them out, and I don't necessarily put them out with my finger what I will normally do is take something to snuff it out, nice and easy. It can be anything to cover and close it, but that's the way I do it. And let me know if you have another way that works best for you. Let's see. What are some common signs or symbols to look for during a candle magic ritual? What are some common signs or symbols to look for during a candle magic ritual? This is a really deep subject because this kind of goes into the idea of candle reading, if I'm getting your question right. There are different things in a candle reading that you can learn to do. It takes time to really learn how to do that. And what I'm talking about is you can read the candle's flame. You can read whether there's a smoke coming off of the candle or not. You read the different colors that are manifesting in a candle. If a flame is growing really bright at some times and then very small at other times, all these different things have different symbolic meanings. And I would highly recommend that you take a dive into your own practice. I guess that's two things that I think I'm going to repeat a whole bunch of times. It's all about your intention and it's all about practice. Just digging in and see what you honestly feel. There are definitely guidelines for sure. You always want to try to follow some basic guidelines. However, at the end of the day, what's really going to bring it into a reality for you is practice. So some of the things to look for, as I just mentioned, are the smoke, the flame, the colors. Try it out first, play with it, and then look for different people's explanation of what those things mean. Because you'll find there are some general things that most people who work with candles, you can see, yeah, oh, there's a through line here. But rather than do that first, I would highly recommend you just jump in there and look at the candle. And if you have an interest in candle gazing and candle reading, then just kind of play around with your own connection with that and see how that feels to you. Okie dokie. Let's see here. What is the next one? I got to pay attention to what I'm doing when I'm doing this, because this knife is not dull. Right. So what I'm doing here is doing a little inscribing on this. Let me get around here before I start reading again. Let's see here. These candles have been already worked with, and I'm just doing some final touches on them right now. Okay, can I use candle magic for healing purposes, and how? Yeah. Because again, focusing back on what are your intentions. You can find candles that mean something to you in terms of the color and what kind of energy you're trying to bring to a healing situation. There are times when your healing situation may require calmness. So what colors invoke calm with you as you're setting your intentions for that? There may be a bit of healing that requires strength and power. Well, then you want to think of the colors and your intentions that have to do with strength and power. So you start to get the hang of how this works. It's all very, very doable. It's all very, very powerful and awesome stuff that you can do by practicing. In the healing process, there are also things involved in the healing process that have to do with what you put on the candle, or with any process that you're working with candles. What you're putting on the candle, what you're inscribing the candle with, the oil you're using to anoint the candle, the herbs or different healing things that you might be putting on your candle. All of those things can tie in to whatever healing work you're trying to do, the intention behind the healing work, the kind of healing that you're trying to bring about, and that you can find a way that it works with your own personal modality. So I hope that answers that question. And what if, what do I do if my candle magic doesn't seem to be working? Well, I think one of the things that you want to do first is reassess and go through your entire process. Just start there, and just think of the entire process that you just went through. Your intention, the energy you're putting into it. Maybe you adjust the approach. Sometimes, I don't know, it can be just a mysterious thing. But the first order of business is if something really feels like, God, that didn't work. Well, you also may have been putting too much thought into, or maybe the way you were thinking of it had to do with thinking that the candle itself was going to fix something. Remember, the candle's the tool. You know, the tool doesn't, build the house. It's the person working the tool. So you want to really think of it that way. And so it's not necessarily that how was it said? If the candle magic doesn't seem to be working. It's not so much that the candle magic isn't working. It simply may mean that there's a need for an adjustment in the approach. So that could actually help the situation. Let's see here, I'm getting around with this one. Right. Yeah, I'm not the best multitasker. Righty. All right. I think we'll take one more. I'll just do one more of these quick, because there's a whole bunch of them. But actually, here's a good one. Well, they're all good. I'm not qualifying. I'm just saying that this one pops out. Is there a specific time or moon phase that is more conducive to candle magic? Yeah, the timing of when you do your candle work, it can actually affect the work if you are connected with that time and understand what you're doing with it. For instance, the easiest way to think about like a moon connection with your candle work is if you think about we'll just break it down into full moon and new moon. If you start a candle working during the new moon, that's really about growth. It's about setting intentions, forward motion, movement, beginnings, starting things, the beginning of things, the sprouting of things like that. It's a good beginning type of thing. That's when the moon is waxing, when the moon is getting bigger. And so after that full moon, as the moon's starting to get bigger, so do your intentions. Yeah. So that's one simple way of looking at it. At the full moon, when that vibration is really, really strong and high, the full moon is a great time to actually just get rid of stuff. It's a good time to get rid of stuff. It's a good way to just let things go. If it's a strong need, might be time to banish a few things. That's a good time to do that. When you're at the height and you want something to go away, that's one way of many different ways you can look at it. So yeah, it can affect you. If you're getting really, really deep into the work of intention setting with candles and things, you may become very sensitive to the point where you can actually feel the different quarters of the moon in terms of your work. You can do that. Also, thinking of what the planets are doing at any given time. If you're into that, there's a lot of information out there. But again, before you start jumping into everybody else's information, see how you feel. Look at your own calendar. Take a look. Start making a little inventory of what are you feeling at different times of the season. You may not even notice at first, but if you jot down just one word or two in a journal or on your calendar, how you felt when you woke up, how you felt when you went to bed. You can put one word, and that will help you to connect with your own calendar feeling when it comes to your workings. So as I'm working on these right now, the one thing that comes to my mind that I want to share about black candles, since I'm working on one right now, the black candle thing. You know, in the movies and all kinds of things that we see related in writings and whatever about black candles, they're always associated with some kind of negative, horrible thing. And it's not the case. As a matter of fact, it's not the case at all. The black candles, just like any candle, can be used in any kind of way that you choose to use it. Remember, it's just a tool. So you can use tools for productive purposes. You can use tools for destructive purposes. The way that a black candle is used in most workings, including my own, is to transform something, to absorb and move or let something go. Now you can take the energy of banishing, throwing away, destroying, things like that. That takes a lot of effort, and it's not always necessary. But you know, depending on what house of Hogwarts that you're in, you have to figure that out on your own. However, the black candle, specifically in this working, is working like a vacuum cleaner. It's working like a vacuum cleaner. Anything that doesn't belong, anything energetic that's just not jiving right with the intentions that I'm setting, it simply moves on, because this is all about light and transforming through light. And the more light we expand, the more things that are not associated with light simply can't live there. This is to get into the corners, into the nooks and the crannies where you might not see a thing or here and there. It's a transformer. It is a transcender. It is an energetic vacuum cleaner. Now, that stuff that it gets up in the vacuum cleaner, we're not just throwing it away like trash. We're looking at letting those things go like you just passed a class you don't need to take anymore. That's really more to the truth of it. So if you take a class that might have been very, very difficult for you, and you passed that class, even if you only passed with a C, you passed. You don't have to take that class anymore, so you let that go. Are you angry at that class? Yeah, you might have had some frustrations with that class, but are you really mad at that class? Because now you've learned something, and we can take that good and keep our focus on that good stuff that we learned from that class as we let that class go. We don't have to take that class anymore. So that's kind of the focus of how I'm using that. Whoops. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to be taking a mixture of some oil. I usually use an olive oil or a simple grounding oil, unless I have a very specific thing that I'm doing that requires a very specific oil or something. And sometimes I'll do a little bit of a mixture of a little bit of honey and oil together. And that honey, of course, has to do with honey. It's a sweet thing. It's a beautiful and sweet thing. I usually mix stuff around with my finger and just kind of think about it. And I'm always going in a clockwise motion, just thinking about, well, what is this? What are you doing this for? What is going on here? And I just kind of mix. And it doesn't have to be a perfect mix. It's just, these are the things that I'm using. Sometimes I don't use them together. Sometimes I'll do something where I'll literally just drizzle honey over everything once I get done, if I'm really working with it like that. All right. So these herbs and things that I'm going to be putting on here, I just mixed those, and they have special significance that I won't really go into right now, but it's all good. And this is what I do to kind of, I'll just put this in here. In this particular way, I want to bring harmony and clarity into this space, yeah? And so one symbolic thing I'm doing when I'm anointing this, I'm actually going to go down because I'm trying to bring it in. So I'll go in a downward motion as I'm applying it. Now you can apply it however you want, and it may not make that much difference to you which way you go. But if you want to put a little bit more extra focus on how you're doing your candle work, this is one thing that you may consider, is are you trying to bring something in, or are you trying to bring something out? Now you can often look at the same thing in both ways. So you can look at it as I'm bringing peace into this space or harmony into this space, or I want to express peace and harmony spreading. So you can see how they both can work. So think about both ways, and then just go with the one that feels closer to your moment, closer to how you're feeling at that moment. And sometimes, if it's one way or the other, you don't really care one way or the other, that's perfectly okay too. You know, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is take this candle that I have been going downward motion with, because I want to bring it into this space. So it will definitely be going out and around the space, but I want to bring it into this space. So that's where we're going down with it. And then I'm literally just going to roll it around, and the herbs and all the stuff that I got going on in here. And again, always thinking about what we're doing, setting the intention, and there you go. Kind of, maybe you can see that a little bit better. Not sure. You can see that. Anyway, there's one. I'm going to set that like that. When you're doing this type of thing, it's good to not be distracted. Again, like the majority of the work that I've done with these candles is already done. That's the only reason I'm able to speak, and I'm not doing it that well, because my focus is on the work itself as I do it. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a taste of what it is to work with candles, and I can see that we're past a half hour. I was only going to go for 20 minutes, but it is what it is. But you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And once this is all done, I'll probably post a photo so you can see what it looks like when it's all lit up. But right now, right, there we go, another one. Maybe you can see that. I hope you can see that. Yep. So you guys, thanks for joining me again. If you have any questions, please give me a shout, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have on candle work. We're all in this boat together, paddling our asses off. I'll see you.